What is one fact you know that will make other people respond with, and why the FK do you know that? A corpse can have an erection. It is called angel lust or death erection. Die Hard. It takes about 5-6 hours in a boiling lye bath to fully dissolve a body. Less if the pot you're using has a pressure cooker attachment. All you'll be left with is bone shadows, little undissolved bits of calcium that can be crushed, and a pinkish grey slurry that can be neutralized with vinegar so it can be safely dumped. Edit. I learned about this from disposing of deer carcasses. After harvesting the usable meat, we take the offal and bones, pop the joints and chuck them in the pot. Let it go outside for a few hours. Then discreetly dispose of the slurry. Just make sure you don't use an aluminum pot, since lye will react with aluminum, creating aluminum oxide and hydrogen gas. Very flammable, often leading to an explosion from the heat source. Also toxic. Wombats naturally crap out cube-shaped poop. Scientists think it's so they can stack it to mark their territory without it rolling away. Flatworms are dual-gendered and mate by fencing with their penises. The winner is the one that penetrates the other's skin first. Some species have 2 penises. It takes 2-3 days to cremate a body on a standard bonfire. So you're telling me funeral pyres would have taken days to look after? Costco has spent hundreds of millions developing factories just so they can continue to offer their hot dog and soda combo for $1.50 and their rotisserie chicken for $4.99. The chicken farming is a pretty revolutionary endeavor for a grocery company. I read an article about it a couple of weeks ago. The idea is that they control every aspect of how the chickens are raised and the farmers are given a guaranteed agreed upon price for them. This system has the potential to completely rewrite how major companies source their meats. Many species of sea cucumbers have evolved to have teeth in their anus to ward off potential inhabitants. Can they eat through their anus, or is it just for protection purposes? Sometimes, when horses are bored, they slap their dong to their underside to masturbate. I witnessed a Clydesdale do this at Grant's farm. Absolutely scarring. Rubbing alcohol is a great way to get the smell of smeared poop out of skin. Pigs with a prolapsed anus are at risk of being eaten by other pigs. Same with chickens. They see red and they peck at it till the chicken dies and then usually eat it. Australian box jellyfish have 64 anuses. Finally, enough holes. Broccoli and cauliflower are man-made. It was carefully bred by Italian farmers more than 2,000 years ago, carefully breeding different types of wild cabbage to create it. Brassica, that wild cabbage, was bred into broccoli, cauliflower, kale, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi, collard greens, mustard, rapeseed, turnips, rutabaga. About 1 girl out of 100.000 will have the vaginal and anal tracts fused together, meaning that they can in fact get pregnant doing anal. Do women know when they have this condition, or is it not very obvious? Most cruise ships are equipped with a morgue to account for any passengers who died during the voyage. I read somewhere that many old people are actually starting to use cruise ships as assisted living facilities when they can no longer get by on their own. The tickets for a month of cruises are about the same as a month's stay in a facility. There is plenty to do on board to keep them active. Cooking and cleaning is taken care of, and the weather is usually beautiful. You can hang yourself in 3 ways. Rope really short, suffocation, medium length rope, breakneck, really long rope, decapitation. Yep. The British Empire in the 1800s had hangings down to a perfect system. They knew exactly how long to set the rope based off of size and weight of the condemned to achieve the perfect neck break every time. They were also incredibly efficient in the actual process of hanging someone. It took them very little time to do it. Human shit has a distinct smell that's different from other commonly encountered poops. You ever smell pig shit? The most babies born to one woman is 69 in the 1700s. Before kale became a popular health food, the largest consumer of kale was Pizza Hut. They bought it to ring the salad bar. I was working at a grocery store when that kale hype kicked in, and we went in one day from putting it around bowls of peppers to selling it beside the peppers. First lady that asked me for it just floored me. You want to buy the decorations? Comma. I'm gonna have to ask me manager. This is something my bio teacher taught me last year. Basically, male barnacles have the longest penis to body ratio, and the penis actually extends out of the barnacle and goes searching around for female barnacles to have sex with. Stop calling Danny DeVito a barnacle. Those tiny fake flowers and little glass vases at the gas station are less about the flowers and more about the glass, which can be used as a crack pipe. There's a small head shop, convenience store, Chinese restaurant, printing shop, ice cream joint down the street from me. And they straight up just have the tubes at the front counter. They know. Regarding the Museum of Mummies. Ferdinand I of Naples governed by oppression. He had zero compassion for his defeated enemies. And after falsely promising them amnesty, he had them murdered instead. After their murders, he would have them mummified and added to his museum of mummies dressed in their clothes. If he thought anyone was plotting against him, he'd simply take them on a casual tour of the museum, which was totally morbid, but effective. I too am hyped about Crusader Kings 3. A bee's testicles explode when they mate. Edit. As many people are pointing this out, I will add that the explosion is loud enough it can be heard. Edit number 2. Their dong is also blown off by the explosion and occasionally gets stuck in the queen. Courtesy of u/Jibitha Mediocre. Edit number 3. Grammar cause Reddit ain't fucking around. Ireland's rail gauge is slightly wider than the international standard. Yet its tram system uses the international standard. Same thing in Spain. That's why you can't take a train between Madrid and Paris without a transfer. The longest recorded piece of poop is 26 feet long. A typical ejaculation consists of 1 calorie. Edit. If you swallow the semen, it will give you 1 calorie. You do not burn 1 calorie. The longest recorded piece of poop is 26 feet long. And how many corics is that? Most birds don't have intermittent reproductive organs, like a penis or vagina, and they share their genes through a hole, called a cloaca, that leads to their inner organs. The act is called a cloacal kiss and is over super fast. Most duck species, however, do have intermittent organs. The penis is shaped like a corkscrew and can be 50% or more of the length of the duck in some species. This is because the vagina is an elaborate maze of twists and turns, creating an evolutionary arms race between the sexes. The longest duck dong award goes to the Argentine lake duck, though he is a mere 15 inches long. His dangling corkscrew is up to 16 inches erect. Now that's gotta produce some drag. Edit. Should be intermittent. Thanks u/M Faustus for pointing that out. Edit 2. People seem to struggle with the why females resist mating. Much like humans, female ducks like to choose the best male to reproduce with. They will make themselves available to the males they prefer, and this mechanism allows them to resist advances from the males they don't deem worthy. Thank you for that amazing info. I'll add duck dongs to the list of things that make me insecure of my penis size. The human body can literally expel feces out of your mouth instead of your ass. I used to know a nurse who had to deal with that once. The guy was constipated so badly that he was shitting out of his mouth, I guess. Anyway, she said it's the worst thing she's ever smelled. Way worse than just straight poop apparently. Vibrators were the 5th domestic electrical device invented. Edit. Saw it in a documentary called Original Sin Sex on Hotstar, if you wanna check it out. Siblings, or parents and children that were separated from one another at birth or a very young age are often extremely sexually attracted to one another if they meet later in life. The phenomenon is called genetic attraction. Didn't think it was weird to know this until I shared with my boyfriend and he was totally weirded out. Thanks. SVU. Cumbria Gov UK link. Well, Star Wars original trilogy makes sense now. It takes more than 6 standard concrete blocks to hold a human body underwater after death. Is that with or without cutting the gut open? Male echidnas have a 4-headed penis. Well duh, how else can knuckles fly? Erections that last more than 4 hours are considered bad because the buildup of deoxygenated blood causes the dong to be disfigured and later cause gangrene. It's called priapism. And it's also extremely painful. In extreme cases, the penis is numbed with a local anesthetic, and blood is removed from the penis with needles and syringes. Don't take ED pills if you don't need them. Edit. As numerous people have pointed out. Yes. The name is derived from the Greek god Priapus, who was regularly depicted with a massive organ. And there are many causes of priapism. Bites from certain venomous bugs, including the Brazilian wandering spider. Side effects of other medications, including trazodone. Spinal cord injuries. Gut. STDs. Sickle cell disease. Cancers of the penis, etc. Also, if bloodletting with syringes is not successful, more extreme measures must be taken. These measures include the use of a scalpel, and are even more graphic in nature. I'm sure you can use your imagination. Mammals from house cats to elephants take about the same time to urinate. 21 seconds on average. Yike. Why is goose geese but moose is not meese? Well, I'm glad you asked. Goose has Germanic origins and thus follows the Germanic pluralization in the same manner as foot to feet, tooth to teeth, etc. However, the word moose was incorporated into the English language some 200 years later and has Native American origins. Yay. Look at all those duck-eyed meese. The largest walnut grove in the world is located outside the small village of Arslanbob, in mountainous southern Kyrgyzstan. Local oral legend has it the grove was planted by a migrant wise man nicknamed Arslan the Wanderer. DNA analysis of the trees has confirmed they are not native to the region and the local population came to the area from a related batch of seeds about 1000 years ago. The slitting of the front of the throat is much more improbable than most people realize, given a bone is actually blocking the spot that most see in movies, TV shows. If, in fact, a movie wanted to be more realistic, they would instead have the sides of the throat slit because of the main artery that sits in that spot. Butterflies taste with their hind feet. Imagine walking around Nick like that. Don't buy rabbit already skinned and gutted. Could well be cat. They look really similar if it's already skinned. You need to see the kidneys to tell. They're installed in a different config. Second, don't make risky meat purchases from a Sunday market trailer in a shady part of town. You can definitely tell by the teeth. Pro tip. Always get ones with the head still attached. Since frogs have long tongues, they can't use it to push food down their throat like humans do. So when they have food in their mouths, they close their eyes and push the food down their throats with their eyeballs. They also vomit by throwing up their entire stomach, emptying it with their hands and then swallowing their stomach again. Male moths can vibrate their testicles at will to throw off bats. Edit. Oh wow, my first gold, thanks guys. Did not expect this comment to get me one, but here I am. The Nazis bled Soviet children dry to provide blood transfusions for injured troops. Wow, after scrolling this far down, this is the one that really got me ducked up. Instead of a penis, male sharks have two claspers. They're made of the same cartilage as their skeleton, and also attached to their pelvis. Edit. Thanks for the gold. I can't believe my highest rated comment is about shark dongs. So legs? Only a matter of time before they evolve into land sharks. This is the real cost of climate change, boys. When the Pilgrims first landed in America, they found these weird dirt mounds in a field. So they dug them up and discovered they were Native American graves. Oops. They returned everything, but then came back later to take the cooking pots and utensils that had been buried with the corpses. They apparently packed really light on the way over and didn't bring basic household essentials, which would be really useful in, oh I don't know, starting a ducking colony. Boston is roughly on the same latitude as Barcelona. The Pilgrims thought they were getting a Mediterranean climate, not a freezing winter. In 2006, a Coca-Cola employee tried to sell secrets to Pepsi. Pepsi told Coca-Cola about it. Pepsi went to the FBI about it. Pepsi doesn't need or want to copy Coke. Pepsi sells because it's not Coke. If you are stranded on a desert island with only the bodies of other people as a source of food, you will want to only eat the legs, arms, and butt, as they are the most easily prepared parts of the human body. All other parts are either too close to vital, bacteria-infested organs, or are just unsafe to eat in general. For example, the brain, the legs, arms and butt can be easily cooked over a small fire to make it safe to eat, even though the actual caloric intake of human flesh is nutritionally less viable than most other animals. Edit. People keep asking why eating the brain and other parts might be terrible. Here is a link to a video about it. Youtube link. Edit 2. Oh. My first silver. Yay. Till eat the ass first. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.